If you're the kind of person who loves leading men who command every room they walk into, with a piercing gaze and an aura of undeniable authority, this video was made for you. Get ready for a spine-tingling selection of 30 dramas where the main characters dominate everything. The plot, the screen, and of course, the leading lady's heart. Each story will hook you from the very first scene and leave you swooning. So don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps keep this amazing content coming your way. 30. What's wrong with Secretary Kim? With confidence that borders on delusion, Lee Young-joon is the kind of character you love to hate, until you realize that behind the flawless suit and inflated ego is a man who's never had to care about anyone else's feelings. Until now. In What's Wrong with Secretary Kim? Everything changes when his ultra-efficient secretary suddenly quits out of nowhere. And just like that, his world begins to unravel. The brilliance of this drama lies in showing how untouchable, self-centered man starts to transform thanks to the one woman who's always been by his side, but only truly catches his attention when she threatens to walk away. Young-joon is a fascinating character. Bossy, charming, hilarious, and slowly but surely vulnerable. If you love powerful male leads who get emotionally disarmed scene by scene, this drama is a must-watch. 29th Business Proposal. There's nothing like a chaotic blind date to kick off an electrifying story. In Business Proposal, we meet Kang Tae-moo, a young, no-nonsense CEO obsessed with efficiency. He hates wasting time, especially on love. But when Ha-ri shows up pretending to be someone else to escape an arranged date, her unexpected personality catches his interest. Not because of the lie, but because of the challenge. Tae-moo is the kind of male lead who oozes elegance and has a presence that borders on intimidating. He doesn't take no for an answer and always tries to stay in control, even when everything is falling apart. What makes him captivating is watching his icy CEO exterior slowly melt in the face of Ha-ri's spontaneity. If you love male leads who toggle between power and emotional turmoil, Tae-moo will win you over in no time. 28th, My Secret Romance. From the very first scene, My Secret Romance draws you in with the magnetic tension between a dedicated professional and her new authoritarian boss, who just so happens to be the man she had an unresolved, unforgettable encounter with in the past. The male lead is a headstrong chef who rules his kitchen with an iron will and insists on emotional control, until the past comes crashing back into his life. What makes him so compelling is the contrast between his rigid demeanor and the swirl of emotions he tries so hard to hide whenever she's near. He may command the kitchen like a general, but his eyes tell another story, one of longing, regret, and deep desire. If you're into dominant leads with complex emotional layers, this drama serves up sizzling chemistry, tension, and a dose of forbidden romance you won't be able to resist. 27th, Well-Intended Love. In Well-Intended Love, Ling Icho is the picture-perfect CEO. Strategic, sleek, and just a touch arrogant. When he proposes a marriage of convenience to struggling actress Xiaolin, it seems like a purely transactional deal, but emotions start sneaking in, and suddenly, this cold arrangement is anything but simple. Ling isn't just rich and powerful. He's the kind of man who runs the world around him with elegance, but also knows how to protect and care with unwavering resolve. What's truly intriguing about Ling Icho is how he balances control with sincere affection, never losing his commanding aura. He often takes charge on Xiaolin's behalf, not out of ego, but out of a quiet, fierce desire to shield her. If you're into strong male leads who command attention with a single glance and make your heart race with subtle, emotional gestures, this one will capture you completely. Yirmi Altıncı, Her Private Life. In Her Private Life, Ryan Gold is the type of male lead who doesn't need to raise his voice to steal the scene. A former famous artist and now a gallery director, he exudes mystery and quiet confidence. At first glance, he seems cold and emotionally distant, but that all changes when he discovers that Deok Mi, his employee, has a secret obsession with Na Idol. Instead of mocking her, Ryan leans in, watching, understanding, and even getting involved. His power lies in subtlety, a calm gaze, well-chosen words, and emotional intelligence that's as rare as it is refreshing. Ryan breaks the mold of the fiery CEO. He's a new kind of powerful, one who respects instead of controls. If you want not intense, yet emotionally refined male lead, Ryan Gold is unforgettable. 25. Because This Is My First Life. Nam Se-hee from Because This Is My First Life redefines emotional control. He's logical, structured, and absolutely allergic to emotional chaos. When he agrees to a contract marriage to preserve his orderly life, it's clear he wants nothing to do with love. But living with the free-spirited Ji-ho slowly chips away at his icy armor. Se-hee isn't the loud, alpha male type. His dominance is quiet, rooted in control and calmness. But as his well-structured world begins to shake, we witness a subtle transformation that's both tender and profound. If you like introspective, emotionally intense leads who say more with silence than words, this drama is a hidden gem. 24. Love is Sweet. In Love is Sweet, Yuan Shui is the classic childhood friend turned powerful boss with a sharp mind and commanding presence. Now, an executive at the investment firm, he's the kind of man who blends authority with a streak of recklessness, always one step ahead, both in business and in love. His interactions with Jang Jun are like silent battles, full of tension, chemistry, and unresolved history. What makes Yuan Shui so captivating is how he combines childhood loyalty with boss-level intensity. He's strict and strategic, but never stops protecting her, even when his heart and his head clash. If you love male leads who dominate with both intellect and emotional fire, this drama delivers the perfect punch of passion and power. 23rd, The Master's Son. Imagine a ruthless CEO who dominates the financial world, but finds himself completely thrown off when his secretary starts talking to ghosts. In The Master's Son, Ju Jung-won is cold, calculated, and always in control. But when faced with the supernatural, he has to rethink everything he thought he understood, especially when it comes to protecting Gong-sil. What's fascinating about Jung-won is that underneath the cold exterior lies a deeply human side that slowly emerges in moments of fear, vulnerability, and unexpected affection. His story isn't just about power, it's about learning to care. If you love watching a lead melt from ice to fire while facing both real and ghostly challenges, this one will keep you hooked. 22. Lucky's First Love. Xia Ke in Lucky's First Love is the kind of male lead who leaves an impression, not just with his looks or family wealth, but through sheer determination. He doesn't follow the easy path laid out for him. Instead, he builds his own gaming empire and leads with a mix of charm, ambition, and mystery. He's demanding, sharp, and absolutely magnetic, especially when sparring with the fiery Xing Yun. Their relationship is a clash of strong personalities, manipulation, witty banter, and emotional tension all rolled into one. Xia Ke knows how to pull the strings, but Xing Yun doesn't let him have it easy. If you love male leads who dominate through brains, charisma, and subtle vulnerability, this story offers the perfect mix of sparks and emotion. 21st Vincenzo. Vincenzo is the ultimate dominant male lead in his purest form. A mafia consigliere from Italy, he arrives in Korea carrying a dark past, not intimidating presence, and a personal code of justice, even if it means breaking all the rules. His icy charm and ruthless tactics make it clear he's not here to play games. What makes Vincenzo unforgettable is how he balances brutality with a surprising sense of honor. His dynamic with the fiery lawyer Hong Cha-young brings out a fiercely protective and unexpectedly loyal side. If you're into complex, powerful, and dangerously magnetic characters, Vincenzo is the kind of anti-hero you won't be able to take your eyes off. 20. My Little Happiness. Wen Xiaoqing is the kind of lead who exerts a quiet but powerful influence over everyone around him, without even trying. A gifted surgeon and a man of few words, he pairs an intense gaze with a commanding presence that radiates both safety and authority. In My Little Happiness, Xiaoqing appears as the neighbor and landlord who pushes Zhuo Rong not just to confront life's expectations, but to face her own emotions, building an irresistible tension between them. What makes Xiaoqing so compelling is his balance of professional strength and hidden tenderness. He's not loud or explosive, but his resolve and protective nature make him the kind of commanding male lead who never needs to raise his voice to be heard. If you love characters who lead with their eyes and quiet authority, this story delivers a rich, emotionally charged romance filled with subtle intensity. 19. The Devil Judge. Kang Yohan, the Devil Judge, is the embodiment of absolute power cloaked in dark mystery. With his cold demeanor and piercing gaze that seems to see through people's souls, he dominates the courtroom like no one else. But the real question lingers. Is he the hero dystopian Korea needs, or a dangerous figure playing God with people's lives? His layered personality and deep secrets make him unforgettable, walking the fine line between savior and villain. Kang Yohan's magnetic pull comes not just from his authority, but from the hypnotic aura that surrounds him. He's a leader who never backs down, yet his shadowed past fuels every decision he makes. If you love powerful leads laced with mystery and a taste for calculated chaos, the Devil Judge offers a character who will challenge everything you believe about justice and morality. 18. Love Between Fairy and Devil. In Love Between Fairy and Devil, the male lead enters as a primordial force, a powerful demon cloaked in mystery, and a presence that instantly commands attention. His intense aura and natural authority make him impossible to ignore. Though born from darkness, he has an undeniable magnetism, ruling both space and emotions the moment he re-enters the world through the fairy who unknowingly resurrects him. What makes him so fascinating is the contrast between his overwhelming power and the vulnerability that emerges as his bond with the fairy deepens. He's a dominant lead undone by love, fighting not just battles, but feelings he can't control. If you're drawn to stories where mystery, intensity, and explosive chemistry intertwine, this drama will pull you in from the very first episode. 17th, Big Mouth. In Big Mouth, the male lead delivers one of the most electrifying character transformations out there. Park Chang-ho starts off as a clumsy, underestimated lawyer who's suddenly forced to assume the identity of a criminal mastermind just to survive. And the most shocking part is how well he adapts. From insecure underdog to calculated strategist, he evolves into a man whose eyes reflect pain, sharp intellect, and an unrelenting thirst for justice. Chang-ho isn't your typical alpha male. He's the kind of man shaped by hardship, becoming someone who commands respect through sheer will and cunning. Episode after episode, he proves that underestimating the quiet ones might be your biggest mistake. If you're into characters who rise through adversity with steely determination, Big Mouth is a tension-packed ride full of grit and charisma. 16. Ashes of Love. In Ashes of Love, Xu Feng is a storm cloaked in flame, an immortal of fire who first warms, then scorches, and finally rises as a dark, devastating demon lord. His story is marked by a love so intense and tragic that it transforms him from a noble celestial prince into a relentless ruler. He's not just powerful, he's overwhelming in both love and war, the kind of male lead who burns his way into your memory. Xu Feng owns every scene with his fiery stare and actions that blur the line between heroism and vengeance. His true strength lies not only in his supernatural powers, but in the emotional storm that erupts once the magic pill can no longer silence Jin Mi's heart. If you crave epic love stories with tortured, larger-than-life leads, this tale of gods and heartbreak is an emotional odyssey. and Shu Feng is its blazing heart. 15th, Reborn Rich. In Reborn Rich, Jin Do-jun is the embodiment of revenge that defies death itself, and that's what makes him feel almost mythic. Once the loyal, disposable employee Yoon Hyun-woo, he's reborn in the body of his killer and turns this second chance into a razor-sharp weapon. Intelligent, cool-headed, and always several moves ahead, Do-jun maneuvers through the corporate world with elegance and quiet fury. His power doesn't just come from what he gains, it's how he uses it, with emotional intelligence and his own brand of justice. Every step he takes is filled with purpose, buried pain, and a calm intensity that's absolutely mesmerizing. If you love protagonists who turn trauma into strength and dominate the game of power with brains and boldness, Reborn Rich serves up satisfaction with Do-jun as its brilliant, relentless core. 14. Love Me If You Dare. Simon Bo is the kind of lead who controls every scene without ever raising his voice. Cold, brilliant, and nearly impossible to read, he commands attention in Love Me If You Dare as a master of the human psyche, someone who sees into the darkest corners of the mind. His ability to dissect the motives of dangerous criminals makes him magnetic and complex, yet he remains a solitary figure trapped in a world few can access. The emotional tension comes from watching him slowly unravel in the presence of Jenny Jin. Their relationship grows in charged silences and sharp exchanges, with Simon shielding his vulnerability behind sarcasm and logic. He's the type of man who intimidates and fascinates with a single glance, and that's exactly what makes him so hypnotic. If you're into emotionally guarded, intellectually dominant leads, Simon Bo will get inside your head just like he does with the criminals he chases. Try Nasty Hyena. In Hyena, Yoon Hee-jae is the very definition of controlled power. Brilliant, confident, and addicted to winning. A high-class attorney who plays the legal game with cold precision and razor-sharp wit, he's always prepared, always calculated. Life at the top is his comfort zone, until he meets a rival bold enough to shake him, forcing deeper layers of his character to surface. What makes Hee-jae so captivating is the man beneath the tailored suit, the one struggling with pride, failure, and a desire for genuine connection. He's not a villain or a classic good guy. He's complex, compelling, and driven by both intellect and unresolved emotion. If you love powerful leads who evolve when met with their match, Hee-jae delivers sharp strategy, raw emotion, and that dangerously attractive mix of control and vulnerability. 12th, Moon Lovers. Scarlet Heart Ryeo. Wang So, the fourth prince, in Moon Lovers, Scarlet Heart Ryeo is intensity personified. Scarred in both body and soul, he hides behind a literal and emotional mask until Hai Su enters his life. Her presence awakens not just love, but the courage to challenge fate itself. Wang So is rough, mysterious, and unpredictable, yet fiercely loyal and vulnerable in a way that breaks your heart, even when his actions defy reason. He's far from a perfect hero. His strength lies in his raw authenticity, in the way he loves fiercely and fights for a place in the world and in someone's heart. Amid power struggles, betrayal, and heartbreak, Wang So shines as a lead torn between darkness and redemption, and it's that explosive contrast that makes him one of the most unforgettable male leads in historical K-dramas. 11th, My Sunshine. Hee Yi-chin is the kind of protagonist who wins you over not with words, but with everything he doesn't say. Quiet, stoic, and deeply devoted, he's a man whose silence hides an ocean of emotion. In his youth, he was a serious, unshakable law student. Years later, he's a successful attorney whose eyes still hold the weight of everything left unsaid. Yi-chin represents a love that's steady, loyal, and enduring. One that survives time, distance, and even denial. When he reunites with Zhao Mosheng, it's not just memories that resurface. It's old wounds that never fully healed. And it's in those moments that Yi Chen's subtle magnetism comes to life. He's emotionally closed off, but when he loves, it's with rare intensity, turning even pain into tenderness. If you're drawn to male leads with icy exteriors and stormy hearts, get ready. Yi Chen will melt you slowly, quietly, and completely. 10. The King, Eternal Monarch. In The King, Eternal Monarch, Li Gan is the kind of emperor you'd expect straight out of an epic fantasy, powerful, refined, and commanding respect from the very first moment he appears on screen. With razor-sharp intelligence and an unwavering sense of justice, he rules an alternate version of Korea with firm hands. But behind his regal composure lies a childhood trauma that shaped his quiet, lonely heart. When he stumbles upon a portal into a parallel world and meets the strong-willed detective Young Tae-ul, his perfectly calculated universe turns upside down. Li Gan captivates through contrast. He's a composed and strategic king, but also a man with deep emotional vulnerability, especially when it comes to love. His confident, sometimes arrogant, demeanor doesn't hide the generous heart underneath the armor. If you're into characters that mix sci-fi intrigue with sweeping romance, Li Gan is the perfect blend of brains, bravery, and raw emotion wrapped in a story as grand as he is. 9. W. Two Worlds. Kang Chul isn't just the hero of a webtoon. He redefines what it means to be the perfect protagonist in another dimension. Olympic medalist, tech mogul, and a strategic genius, he was written to be ideal, but he breaks free from the script, questioning his fate, his creator, and the very nature of reality. That self-awareness and rebellion against the plot make Kang Chul incredibly fascinating. He's confident, protective, and not afraid to challenge the impossible, including the fact that his world is a work of fiction. As his life intertwines with Oh Yeon-ju's, he proves he's more than just a perfect character. He has soul, depth, and truly human feelings. Kang Chul doesn't win hearts with looks or smarts alone, but through his constant fight to take control of his destiny. If you love dominant leads who break the rules of the universe for love, W is an emotional roller coaster, and Kang Chul will pull you in, even if it means taking you to another dimension. 8. Kill Me, Heal Me. Cha Do-hyun breaks every traditional mold. A powerful heir to a chaebol family, yes, but also a man with a deeply fractured mind. With 7 distinct personalities living within him, he's a walking puzzle, unpredictable, and endlessly compelling. From a cold, dominant alter to a vulnerable, scared boy, each persona adds a new layer to his soul. He's not just a leader, he's a living battle between controlling chaos, strength, and the desperate need to heal. Enter Oh Ri-jin, the intern psychiatrist who becomes his guiding light through that emotional storm. Their connection is a delicate dance of trust, resistance, and undeniable chemistry. If you're drawn to leads who defy the usual unshakable alpha and show strength through mental complexity and healing, Cha Do-hyun will capture your heart with his intensity and journey towards self-acceptance. 7. Tempted. In this tangled web of desire and emotion, the male lead of Tempted stands out for his raw intensity and emotional. Despite his confident, almost arrogant exterior, he carries deep scars and a restless longing for real love. He constantly teeters between logic and passion, sometimes mistaking control for connection. But his vulnerability makes him feel achingly real. His turbulent relationships slowly strip away his defenses, revealing a man who's learning how to face his true self. If you're into flawed leads who grow and transform in the name of love, even through pain, Tempted will pull you into a story that's equal parts dramatic, romantic, and deeply reflective. It's for anyone who believes love is worth the risk, no matter how complicated. 6th, Legally Romance. Lu Xun is the kind of lead who completely steals the spotlight. A demanding, no-nonsense boss hiding a surprisingly deep emotional core. At first, he comes off as cold and unapproachable. But in the dream world where Tian Wei meets a different side of him, cracks begin to show. His duality, tough in reality, tender in dreams, makes him endlessly intriguing. The blurred line between dreams and real life creates a unique and magnetic chemistry between Lu Xun and Qian Wei. As they navigate the pressures of ambition, past regrets, and budding feelings, you'll find yourself rooting for this difficult boss, who slowly learns to open up. If you love stories where love blooms in the most unexpected places, Legally Romance will surprise you. ஐந்தாவது, Meteor Garden. Dao Mingxi is the beating heart of Meteor Garden, a lead who's arrogant and rebellious, yet impossible to look away from. His spoiled bully attitude masks a young man desperate to connect, especially with Shansai, whose fierce spirit and honesty challenge his controlling nature. The explosive tension between them creates a chemistry you can't ignore. A mix of power plays, emotional clashes, and undeniable growth. As the story unfolds, Dao Mingxi reveals a surprisingly vulnerable side. He's far from perfect, and that's exactly what makes him so captivating. If you're into strong-willed male leads who evolve through love, this is one story that will leave a lasting impression. 4. The Eternal Love. In The Eternal Love, Mo Liancheng shines as a prince who exudes calm authority and sharp intellect. His presence is both commanding and gentle, and he wins you over with sincerity, especially in contrast to Xiaotan's fiery and unpredictable nature. Her unexpected determination brings out something genuine and warm in him. Meanwhile, Mo Yihuai, the heir to the throne, adds intensity and emotional complexity, deepening the dramatic tension. With two brothers, two versions of the heroine, and endless twists, this is a richly layered story for anyone who loves powerful leads with emotional depth. 3. Please feel at ease. Mr. Ling. Get ready to follow Ling Yue's powerful transformation. He starts as a confident heir to a massive corporation. But after a devastating accident, he loses all memory and must rebuild his identity from scratch. His journey from powerful to vulnerable is deeply emotional, full of challenges and slow realizations. Though he might first seem like the classic rich male lead, Ling Yue's development proves he's much more. His relationship with Anshin, who's his opposite in many ways, brings out a softer, more human side. Please feel at ease. Mr. Ling is a slow-burn romance packed with emotional weight and beautifully written character growth. 2. The Innocent Man. The Innocent Man is a gripping melodrama where love, betrayal, and revenge clash in dramatic fashion. Kang Ma-ru was once a promising young man in love, until he was betrayed by the woman he trusted the most. Years later, he's a changed man, cold, damaged, and ready to settle the score. To take revenge, he gets close to Seo Yoon-gi, the fierce and calculating daughter of the man his ex married for money. Forget logic and dive into a whirlwind of plot twists, amnesia, murder, and hidden family secrets. While it follows the usual formula of revenge dramas, what makes this one stand out is the emotional depth of its characters. Especially Ma-ru, who starts off morally gray and broken, and Eun-gi, a bold, layered heroine who goes through a drastic transformation. All of it is held together by Song Joong-ki's powerful performance, which keeps the drama compelling from start to finish. 1. Begin Again. Meet Ling Rui, a gifted surgeon with a kind heart, who enters Lu Fangning's life just as she's trying to find the perfect husband to meet family expectations. Ling Rui balances skill and compassion with ease, and watching him navigate their unconventional marriage is nothing short of captivating. But things get complicated fast. As their relationship faces real-life challenges and emotional strain, Ling Rui's quiet strength becomes both his shield and his burden. His journey reflects the true struggle of building a marriage, one full of love, pressure, and raw humanity. If you're drawn to realistic stories with emotional depth, Begin Again is one drama you can't miss. So, which of these male leads stole your heart or made you the most curious to watch? Drop a comment below and let me know which story you'd love to explore deeper. And if you've already watched any of these dramas, share your thoughts. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel for more drama recommendations, and share with fellow fans who love a good swoon-worthy lead. See you at the next binge session.